Hey everyone! Have you ever looked at a really long math problem? With the same number multiplied over and over, and just thought, there has to be an easier way to do this. Well, guess what? There is. Today, we're going to learn a fantastic math shortcut called powers. It's a super cool tool that makes those big, messy problems feel really simple. You ready? Let's get started.
Okay, so picture this. You've got one tiny little germ. After a little while, it splits and becomes two germs. Then those two split, and now you have 4. Then 8, then 16. See how that number gets big really fast? Now, if we wanted to write that down, we'd have to write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and it would just keep going. It would take up the whole page. That's exactly why powers were invented, to solve this exact problem.
And here's the solution. Powers. Really, a power is just a shortcut, a neat and tidy way to write down that you're multiplying a number by itself a bunch of times. It's got 2 simple parts. The big number on the bottom, that's called the base. That's the number we're actually multiplying. Then you've got that little number up top. That's the exponent. And all the exponent does is tell you how many times you need to multiply the base by itself. So if you see 2 to the power of 4, it just means take the base, 2, and multiply it 4 times. Easy, right?
Okay, now it's your turn to try one. Let's take a look at this. We've got 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So, first question. What's the number that's being multiplied over and over again? It's the 3, right? So that's our base. Now, how many times do we see it? Let's just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. So that's our exponent. And we write it as 3 to the power of 5. See, you've totally got this.
Awesome! Now that you know what a power is, we can get to the really cool stuff, the rules that make them so powerful. Think of these like special shortcuts in a video game. Let's start with our first one, rule number 1, multiplying powers. Let's look at this problem here. Now, don't let the letter A scare you. It can be any number you want it to be. So what is A squared times A cubed? We don't even need a special rule to figure this out. We can just use what we already know. A squared is just A times A, right? And A cubed is A times A times A. So if we multiply them together, we're just putting them all in one big line. So take a look. How many A's are we multiplying together now? That's right, there are 5 A's all multiplied together. So our answer is A to the power of 5. But hang on a second. Did you see the shortcut? We started with the exponents 2 and 3, and we ended up with the exponent 5. What's the really simple math that takes you from 2 and 3 to 5? Yes, you just add them. And that is our first huge rule. Whenever you multiply powers that have the exact same base, you just add their exponents. 2 plus 3 gives us 5. This little trick means you never have to write it out the long way ever again. You are doing so great. Seriously, give yourself a pat on the back. Let's keep that momentum going and learn our next rule. You'll see it builds right on top of what we just did. This one is sometimes called a powers power. Now, this one looks a little bit different, doesn't it? We've got these parentheses here. The question is asking, what is A squared to the power of 3? Let's just think about what that means. That little exponent 3 on the outside is just telling us to take the thing inside the parentheses, which is A squared, and multiply it by itself 3 times. So that gives us A squared times A squared times A squared. Hey, wait a minute. This looks really familiar. What did our first rule tell us to do when we're multiplying powers that have the same base? We add the powers. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, that equals 6. So our final answer is A to the power of 6. Okay, time for the new shortcut. Let's look back at the original problem, A squared cube. What is the super simple connection between those two exponents, the 2 and the 3, and our final exponent 6? You got it. We multiply them. 2 times 3 is 6. And that's our second rule. When you have a power that's raised to another power, you just multiply the exponents together. See? Every rule we learn is just another shortcut to make math faster. Okay, you are on a roll. We have one last rule for today. This one is all about dividing powers. We're going to take this one nice and slow, step by step, because there are 3 little situations we need to look at. But don't worry, you'll see they all make perfect sense. So here are the 3 little cases we're going to check out. First, we'll see what happens when the power on the top of the fraction is bigger. Then we'll look at what happens when the powers are exactly the same. And finally, we'll see what to do when the power on the bottom is the bigger one.
Let's start with case number 1. The top power is bigger, like a to the 7th divided by a to the 5th. Let's just write that out like a big fraction. We have 7 a's on top and 5 on the bottom. Now here comes the fun part. For every a on the bottom, we can cancel out 1 a on the top. So we cancel out 5 pairs, and what are we left with? We have 2 a's left over on top. So the answer is a squared. And the shortcut, you just subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2.
Okay, case 2 is even easier. What if the powers are the same, like a to the 5th divided by a to the 5th? Well, just think about it. What's 10 divided by 10? It's 1. What's 100 divided by 100? It's 1. Any number divided by itself is always 1. All the a's just cancel each other out completely, leaving us with just the number 1. That's it.
And for our last case, what if the bigger power is on the bottom, like a to the 5th divided by a to the 7th? Okay, let's write it out again. We cancel out our 5 pairs, but this time, where are the leftover a's? They're on the bottom of the fraction. We have 2 a's left, but they're downstairs. So our answer is 1 over a squared. The shortcut is still subtraction. You just do the bigger number minus the smaller one. 7 minus 5 is 2. But you have to remember to leave the answer where the bigger power was to begin with, on the bottom.
And just like that, you did it. You are an absolute math star. You just worked through and learned the 3 main rules for powers. That is a really, really big deal. So let's do a super fast recap of your new math superpowers. Rule 1. When you multiply powers with the same base, you add the exponents. Rule 2. For a power's power, you multiply the exponents. And Rule 3. When you divide powers, you subtract the exponents. Add, multiply, subtract. You got it. Let's finish up with this thought. Learning math is a lot like building with blocks. You learn one thing, and that's your first block. Then you learn something new, and you put it right on top. Today, you've added 3 really important, really strong blocks to your foundation. You did some amazing work. Keep practicing these rules, and thanks so much for building your math skills with me today.